So welcome to Handy Andy's Garage. Today we're going to be installing this Bestop Tigertop soft top for 1956 Willys CJ3B. It's Bestop Tigertop. This is called Bestop Tigertop. Came with instructions, runs you about $1,000, $1,200 if you can get these anymore. Like I said, I got this 2 years ago. Material looks good. I'm impressed. The fabric is, or vinyl, whatever you have you. Looks nice. Bestop right there. Doors came. I didn't do anything yet, so the doors came assembled. Comes with the bows, that's half of it, the other half's up there, so I'm working on it. The canvas, window tracks for the doors, hardware, and all your door hardware, which I'm probably gonna get to that another day. First thing is to put on these brackets, okay? Now they give you a measurement from the back, outside of the tub, from here to the first bolt and the second bolt. Those measurements were 33.5 inches and 34.5 inches. Okay, so what I did was I pulled my tape from the back, and I've got 33.5 and 34.5 right at the center of those bolts, and you drill a hole. I think that one was 5/16. Let me check. 5/16. So if you'll notice, you have a bend here. So you gotta hook it where it's flat, but that means you're out kind of far from where you need to mark. So if you angle this, it's not going to be correct. So that first hole right here, I can't do this with one hand. That first bolt is supposed to be 33.5. Right now it looks like it's measuring 34.25. That's not true because I'm not hooked properly. So what I did was I took a flat edge. Okay, it'd be easier if you had someone to do this with you. But I took this flat edge, held this like this, then I measured straight off of here to get an accurate measurement. Okay, so you pull that, do a center punch, drill your hole, put in your hardware. Okay, and that they came with these, you know, the washer nuts, whatever you call these things, and you put a washer on here and the Phillips, and this is what your bow's gonna sit in. Okay, you do that on that side, do that on this side. Now, that's step number one. Okay, I decided to start taking this video after I did that first step. Now, let's go to step number two. Luckily, I found a tripod, so hopefully I can show you a little bit better what the heck I'm doing. Okay, so, now we've got step two on the directions. We're gonna measure from that same back point to 27.75 to 29.75. Okay, so you measure back, that's a 2-inch difference. So just measure 27.75. Make a mark, then measure 2 inches from that. Okay? You're gonna do this on both sides. Take a center punch, go in the center of the rail, give it a whack. Okay? Do the same thing with the other hole. Ooh, chipped something, but that's fine. There's a little Bondo on there. This is going to be covered by the bracket of the bow. So smaller bit this time, 3/16. Drill these out. same thing on the other side. This is, hope you're seeing this, I can't tell. What the heck? This bow is gonna get attached in those holes. Make sure it lines up, looks good. So we'll figure the rest of that out once we get the other side drilled. All right, so step 3, install the bow assembly. You can take a number 14 screw, which I believe is this one. It's kind of hard to figure it out in this mess they give you with no labels. I thought it was those, too small. I think it's these. You're basically gonna figure out what your left and rights are. The padding swings back like this, so this is the driver's side. It says you need 2 people. My wife might come down and help me, but I just rested this half on the steering wheel and put a screw in on this side. They tell you to do the front, but you can't really get to that. So we're just gonna put this in, screw it in halfway, do the other side, then connect these, and then we can kind of swing this bow open. And I mean, that's like the gist of the bow assembly. Doesn't need to be super tight. So these are in place, and then you gotta connect it here. And my beautiful wife is gonna come help me. What? Watch out. She's very tolerant of my Jeep stuff. I gotta connect these 2. So take that half, see these pieces, but that's screwed in, so don't like bend it. I'll just knock it over. Yeah, you gotta hold it steady. So these go together. I don't know which is which even. I think that's right. Yeah. Is it still attached? All right, what a pain in the butt. Here's what we did. I can't flip this camera while I'm videoing. We put in a screw on the passenger bow, just one, halfway. Same thing on the driver's side. We did 1 screw on the driver bow, and then my lovely wife helped me connect this in the middle. We had to sort of bend these to get it connected. And then you gotta make sure these pieces here are swung towards the front when you're putting this on. I made the mistake of, we bolted this all together and these thinner bows were in the back and I could not swing them forward, so we had to take it off and redo this. But that's all looking pretty good. So you basically just drop these pieces into that little hole, the first bracket we put in. I'm not sure what happens up here yet, but this is the frame's getting there. We're on our way. Step 5, drill the receiving hole for the rod. Yada yada. It basically says drill a 3/8 hole 3 1/4 inches above the door hinges on both sides. And then it goes on to say you may have a hole close to this location. Use that. I do have holes close to this location, so I actually have 2. This one and this one. I think they want it to go into here. But these are 3/8 holes. You can see I already have a door track. I'll go through that later. Passenger side still has part of a hinge on it. So they want 3¼ inches above that hinge to be where that hole is, which is right about where my top one is. So if you don't have this hole, drill it. From the top of the windshield, it's like 1.5 inches down. I don't know why they're telling you to measure off of this hinge because we haven't installed those yet. So that's weird, but I think that's coming. Let's move on to step 6. So the hinges got a left and a right. Okay. I guess left is driver's side. I mean, if you're looking at the vehicle this way, that's the left. I think that's how this goes. That's how my other one's set up. I have one there. I don't have one over here, so I'm gonna add. Looks like we've got something in the way. But they give you a measurement now. It's out of order from the top, from this hole down to the hinge. But before they measured from the hinge up to this hole. So one has to come first. Anyways, I'm gonna measure off of that one and go from there. They're telling me locate the upper door hinge 3 inches below that hole that was drilled for the horizontal rod. Use the hinges as template marks, the center punch 3/16 hole, and then secure it with a 14-inch bigger black screw. So the existing one I have, it's now telling me 3 inches. I'm sitting 3.5 from the center of that hole, 3¾ really. So I don't know. I'm just gonna match that on the other side and see what happens. I don't know what this bracket is or was for. That was probably for the bikini top that had something else going on. So disregard that. But yeah, so let's try this. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get this on film. But I'm gonna put this 3¾ inches to the top of this bracket. I'm gonna go ahead and say this should be plumb, so straight down, because if you think of your door swinging, it's not gonna swing like a Lamborghini door for exaggeration purposes. So I'm gonna put this as straight up as I can. So I just drilled 3/16. Let's put this on. Man, 3/16 hole is really tight. I'm doing all this by hand. I don't want to rip a drill through here. It's all sheet metal stuff. And strip it and have to totally realign things. My friends call me Crank-a-Mandy because I overdo everything and strip it. So I've kind of learned not to do that anymore. And, you know, really dial it in tight, but don't overdo it. It's just a fabric door. It's not a metal door. Weighs 5 pounds. I made that up, but it's light. So the second hole. All right, big moment. We're gonna raise again the bow. It's not that big a moment because we kind of did this before. But and put this heater, either just leave it right here or put it even in the Jeep overnight. Let this thing soften up, get nice and warm, and then start stretching it and setting the pins, the snaps, the boat snaps. So this is how it's coming out, yeah. So this goes up, it's the rear of the bow, it's the front of the bow. Set this in these brackets. I did tighten all these up. This drops in here, and then this one comes forward and it goes into those holes. So still going here. I got this on a little bit better. This rear bow has snaps that snap to this top. So I snap those on, and then they give you these buckle straps. They tell you to wrap it around the rear bow, snap it to itself. It's got a snap previously installed. And this, I believe, is where these footman loops come into play. And I'm liking where mine are better than what the directions had to say. But you put this on and pull this tight, and that's what's gonna pull this whole top back nice and tight. Looking awesome. So I just kind of pulled these straps tighter, and it's pulling this whole top tight. Not going crazy yet. This looks like it's coming out of the channel. I don't know. We might be redoing this channel anyways. But we'll see how that plays out. I'm not sure yet. Yeah, see how it's right here? It looks like it's coming out. That's because the channel ends right here. I don't know why. I don't want that to rip. This is all in here nicely. But then we start to lose it because this just wants to come out. Super annoying. Didn't come with a channel. I have a channel, but it's short. So yeah, once this all gets stretched, it's looking really good. Step 12, you're gonna take one of these nuts. Where are all? You can take one of these. Pop it in this hole like this. And you're gonna put your nut on the back side in here. And you're gonna bolt that down, screw that down. The Phillips 1, 2, 3, 4. I think I'm gonna leave this loop and hopefully be able to snap this on still. I think it'll work. That's step 12. All right, so I got my 4 snaps on. It did not work to leave these on. I thought I could leave it like this, and I had this post through it, snap through it, but it didn't work. Now it lines up. Maybe. Yep. Much better. Okay, so now my snaps are on the rear. I'm actually gonna loosen these. That's step 12. Tailgate studs on to 13. All right, now they want you to do these 2 corners, drill these studs first. So they say have somebody pull down on the top bar to where you want it and mark it with chalk. They want you to put some chalk on the inside of this, come press it down, and that's where you drill your hole. They said it should be about 3/4 inches from the top here. So it's just me here. I don't really have 2 people. I don't feel like bothering my wife. So I just measured 3/4 down, sort of pulled this to where I think it's going to be, and made a mark. So do the corner on that side, and then we're gonna come and do our buttons for the window, do the rest of them, and that's, I mean, the top is on after that. Then we're into doors. Pretty easy, actually. So we're gonna drill these two, just like I did on the other side. So I've been just measuring 3/4 down to give me a frame of reference, because that's where these other ones were. So I'm going to do the same. This is generally going to be about here. So I'm going to measure 3/4 inches down, make a little mark for myself. So I know it'll be not exactly there, but somewhere around there. I'm going to pull this tight. And wherever I pull this tight and it ends up, I'm actually going to put my mark a little, just a hair further, so I really have to stretch this thing tight. They say stretch it out. It did this. So I want this to be nice and tight. Okay, see how that kind of... All right, so we got both sides on. It says just do the rest of them now. So your framework's set up. I got one here, here. I'm kind of just gonna pull it. I can make a mark exactly where these are. These are easy. So I got 1, 2, 3. They say to alternate sides. So do 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. And you also got 2 back here, which they didn't mention in the directions. But you got to do these too. Put in some studs here so that sits nice and flat and tight. Like, I had to put my whole body into this to get it to snap on. Once it's on, like, they stay really well. That's what you want. See, these aren't even snapped yet, and look how tight this is. You know, no wrinkles. This is all looking pretty tight. I'm not thrilled with the back yet, but it's not finished. See this wrinkle here? Wondering if that'll kind of pull out somehow. But the back, like, this is sort of loose. And I couldn't tighten that because these are pre-existing holes. So we'll see once that last bar goes up, which I also didn't see in the directions. But yeah, I'm not really gonna show this. I'm just gonna do it. Directions also go silent on this, but there's this Velcro in here. Peel that off and it goes around your frame. Pull that tight, Velcro that on, so this is all attached here. You do that all the way around. On the top, same thing, it's Velcro. And then we're on to assembling the doors. I mean, the top's on. So I've actually noticed, I was looking at this thinking something's off. I put these on backwards. This hole is supposed to be on the front side here. And you can tell that because see how angled that bar is? That piece is supposed to be flipped. So that'll put this straight up with the rest of the door frame. So I was wondering about that. Not a problem. I should be able to get to this, pull this out and swap that easily. No biggie. All right, so the doors, we got one on. Pretty stupid system, but it kind of works. So I'll show you. You put this handle together, and this is what you got. This is why I'm not thrilled. This, I can stick my finger right in there. This is where water's dripping. So you know water's going right in there. I don't expect it to be completely watertight, but like that doesn't look good. So that, and it the hinge system's a little weird, but that's the door. You got a bottom hinge that I put in and a top hinge that you saw before, and then you slide it into this track. I had to open it up a little bit, and then you got some snaps, three more snaps on the front. So I don't know, pretty cool. I got doors on it. And it's not, they say you can bend the door to follow the contour of the body, but it is following the contour of the body. The way the latch is, it's just out that far, so I don't think I'm gonna mess with that. Maybe. Let me show you the passenger door. So this is what the kit comes with. And there's already a hole. You've got your hardware. It's basically just the inside and outside handle and 2 washers. And you've got a Phillips here. So this longer ear points up. So that's gonna go in here through the hole, but first you gotta put a washer on. Put that like this. You're gonna poke, it's a square peg, but you poke it through the hole. You want it in the up position like I showed you. Take your handle. Well, first take another washer, goes in the outside. Okay, your handle is gonna point towards the rear of the vehicle. So in my case, you gotta expand this handle a little bit, open up these Allen keys that comes with it. And you wanna push the handle together tight. Just like that. Push this tight. Tighten it back up with the Allen key as you're kinda pushing this in. Be easier with another person. But all of these jobs, who's gonna do this with you? Nobody. Okay, so that's the door handle. That's open, that's closed. This is the closed striker part. And the handle, that's open, that's closed. Points towards the back. Not how I would have thought. So the next step is you slide the channel of the door into this door channel. This one's actually pretty open, so I think we're okay. The other one I had to put something in here and expand it out. Now, they tell you to open the window to make it easier. I agree. Got a little cap on this one. I'll take it off when I get closer, but this has a little tube in it. You want to start at the bottom, get that in here. Kind of just put my shoulder in here, guide this up, feed it up the channel. Like so. And there's this, on mine, there's this fat part where they doubled up the fabric that really doesn't fit very well down here. So I'm gonna have to expand this one, even though it's already huge, because this really does not go in here. And we got something. Okay, so now I'm getting close. Pop the cap to this top hinge. Guide that into place. Slide up. And that's in. Now you can close it and set your hinge. Maybe. So that'll hold it into place, and you can figure out, wow, this one's a lot tighter. Figure out where you want this to be. And it's all looking pretty good. I like the hinge placement's fine. Door is latched. I kind of just guide this a little bit. I'm gonna pull this down some. Get it where you want it. Again, that's the hole that I really don't like the design of. This is too loose up here. See how it's coming out? So I'm gonna tighten that up at the top. And then that's all very tight down here. Then you got 3 snaps to drill. Snap those. And you have a bottom hinge. So that bottom hinge, you drill 2 holes. It's this piece. And you drill 2 5/32 holes and screw this in with number 10 screws. So that's what I did. Basically get this lined up how you want it. Figure out where you want this, mark your holes, drill them. All right, gang, here's how it came out. It's been sitting in the garage for a couple days now. I had to raise my entire garage door because it did not fit anymore. So I raised all my brackets to get this thing out of the garage. But haven't taken it for a ride yet. We'll see how flappy it is. Looks really good. I don't know what's going on with this wrinkle. That's the only thing I really see. Doors look excellent and functional. Nice and tight. Looks good. Maybe we'll go for do a little drive-by or something. But that's a wrap, guys. Took me 2 weekday nights, essentially. And it wasn't hard, it's just tedious. But damn, she looks good, doesn't she? Peace out, y'all.